Right. So last time we discussed about the home. We end with the home tab, right? So and as well as we are done with the layout as well. We get to know how the orientation is done, how the sizes can be changed. And I just saw in one mail someone is saying that he or she can't put the words into the columns in their Word document, right? And let me show it to you again. It's something easy, right? If I copy this content onto my Word document, right? And all I need to do is now think now if this particular content need to be showed as two columns, what I need to do is just select the things. Now assume like only the first paragraph you need, right? So if you want to show all the content as two column one, it is easy. You just put a control A and select the entire thing and just go here and just select two columns, right? And it will show you the things in two columns. But in here, since it is having room in the page, it is not showing you into two columns. And if I increase the font size, you can see what happens. Yeah, this is how it goes, right? And if you want to get rid of the columns, what you have to do is just go to the insert I'm sorry, just go to the layout and go to the columns and just say one, so it will give you the previous way. And again, if you want to put a particular number of lines or particular paragraph into two columns, you just select what to be put as two columns, right? Then you can select the column and you can select two over here. So only the first paragraph will stay as two columns and the rest is going to stay as one particular column, right? So I hope it is clear for the daughter or the son who is not clear with this thing, right? So I'm moving to the insert tab today, right? And if you got any questions, yeah, and Chanore, I'm going to do the borders, like maybe not today, right? We'll come to that door, right? So like you can apply the border from design, as I guess. Here, the page border is here though, right? And is it what you're asking though? Can you show the way to put a border square around in a text? Okay, though. So like, if it is around in a text though, what you have to do is just select the text that you want a border, right? And here in the home tab, inside the paragraph group, you got borders. So if you click this and let's say you are going to go with the outside border. So there you go. They have given you outside borders, right? So likewise, you can apply, right? If you want to have the border around just one particular word, still you can go for that. Outside borders will give you outside borders. Got it, Dua? Right, okay. So today we are going to explore the insert tab, right? So insert tab, as it says, will help you to insert things into the page. So what are the things that we can insert? We can insert a cover page. We can insert images. We can insert tables, right? So let me show you how these things work, right? To do that, you need to travel, you need to point to the insert tab. Now, inside the insert tab, there are several different groups, right? As you can see, there are pages, there are table group, there are illustrations group, which is going to be a very interesting one, and add-ins, media, comments, headers and footers, there are many, right? And this, maybe most probably you are not having this embed flash thing because it's something belongs to the Acrobat, right? Which I have uh, like I have installed for my particular purposes, right? So you may have these kind of things, right? So first I'm going to go through this pages tab. I'm sorry, the pages group. Right now, inside the pages group, there are three things, which is the cover page, the blank page, and the page break, right? So let me have this into a one column, this particular content. And yeah, let me increase the size of this content. And I'm reducing I'm zooming out to see it as a whole, right? Because now I'm going to insert a cover page, so it will be easier for you to see it like this. So I go to the insert, then I'm going to the cover page. So when I click on the cover page, you can see there are several different cover pages are there. Those are predefined, right? So you can use one of these, which is provided by the MS Word, or else you can search for more cover pages in the office.com, right? There are several different cover pages, even in the web, right? So why this is there is we can use this as a cover page to our document, right? So let me take something attractive. I'll try this inside one. Yeah, it comes. So see, it is here, right? Now what we have to do is we can type on this, right? So the designing part has done on behalf of us. So we can type the title over here. If you got a subtitle, you can type it here, or you can get rid of that, right? And at the bottom line, you can see my name is displaying. So because I have signed into this office package with my name, so if I specify the date and course title, so if it is there, those can be elaborate, right? And again, if we need some other text on this picture, that can be added by using the text boxes and some of the text effects, which we are going to learn today. And you can decorate your cover page, right? And it's a very nice way of presenting a particular document when you are having a nice cover page. Like the first thing is like people will attract to the cover, right? Then they are going to go through the content, right? So it's good to have an attractive cover page and an appropriate one as well, right? So you can deliver what you are going to make using the Word document or like the Word editing software, right? So that is how we are going to apply the cover page. And if you want to get rid of that, if you want to remove the cover page, all you have to do is go to the cover page and you got the facility over here, remove current cover page. So once you click on it, that cover page will be removed. So thereafter, there will be no more cover pages, right? And regarding the blank page, and I know I know that you know how to get a blank page in your document, right? So most of you are doing like pressing many enter keys, right? Until you find another new one. So if I ask you to take another new page, you will do the entering until the end, until it finds a new one. It's like this is kind of a teasing, right? And again, of course, it is providing us a new page, but there is an easy way to do this, right? You can insert blank page over here, like using this command. So if you click on it, pages will get added. And it's better you understand to which particular position that this new page is going to add. To show that, I'll take this content, copy it into this particular page, as well as this, right? As well as this. And I'll make this content, and I'll give this content a background color. Hold on, background color is from here. So like, yeah, this, and this will have a background color, a different background color, which is red, right? So now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to place my cursor inside this brown color document. Right now, my cursor is at this brown color background document. Now I'm going to insert a page. Now you can clearly see to which position that this new page is going to add. Right? So here I go. I click on the blank page. So what is happening? Now blank page goes. Okay, sorry for that. And what I was doing is, I was placing my cursor in this second page, and I'm clicking on the blank page. See what is happening. So, did I add something new? It seems that මෙතන 6යි තියෙන්නේ, pages 7ක් තියෙනවා දැන්. Right? So I'm placing my cursor in the second page. So I'm adding, yeah. So I'm getting a blank page. So what is actually happening? Now, there is a difference in my content. Can you all recognize that? When I press this blank page, my red content is going down. Just concentrate on that. Click. So red content goes down, and then I'm getting a new page. That means it is doing the same thing that you do, like pressing the enter to have a new page. But here, like what they have done is, from this particular place to this particular place, it will press the enter until it creates a new page at the behind, or like at the very end. Right? තේරුණාද? මෙතන ඉඳලා enter එක press කරගෙන යනවා වගේ වැඩක් වෙන්නේ. කියන්නේ මෙතන ඉඳලා enter එක අපි press කරනවා අලුතෙන් page එකක් එනකම්. ඒකටම සමාන ක්‍රියාවලියක් තමයි word වලින් සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ. Right? So that is how we are going to add the new pages. So likewise, you can add many as you want. Right? So it will move the content, right, from page by page. Right? Okay, so that is about the blank page, right? And it's better you recognize once the blank page is being added, it is add from the place where you place the cursor, right? අගටම වෙන්න නෙවෙයි ඇඩ් කරන්නේ. මගේ අතින් එක වැරදියට කියවුණා. අගට වෙන්න නෙවෙයි ඇඩ් කරන්නේ. cursor එක ළඟ ඉඳලා එක page එකක් දුරට page එකේ ප්‍රමාණයක් ඇඩ් කරනවා. Right? So this is how it happens. So you can understand it by the way the cursor moves, right? At the very first time, it was this space as well as some space from this. ඒක තමයි එයා අරගත්ත space එක very first time එක. Blank page. Right? So this was the space that it took. right? Later, it's going to add a full pages like this. Okay, so that is how the blank page is going to add, right? And the next one is the page break. Now, this page break is something very important, right? I'll tell you, first of all, I'll get rid of these things, right? So it's just 2 pages now, right? So I'm increasing the size. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this content a little bit up. How I'm taking this up? By placing the cursor on a position where it has no text and pressing the delete key. Delete key will delete the space in front of it, or like at the right side of it, at the right side of the cursor. Cursor එකෙන් දකුණු පැත්තේ තියෙන space එක ඇදලා අරන් delete කරන එක තමයි delete key එකෙන් කරන්නේ. Right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of some of the content in this paragraph. So I'm selecting that and I'm pressing delete. Now what happens? The content in the next page is shifted into the previous page. Now this will give us a real headache when we are maintaining a particular document, right? We have this by experience. I have this by experience, right? When I'm like writing some assignments for like 10 to 15 pages, when I'm deleting some content from the middle of my assignment, all my contents are shifting up, right? Which is going to make a very big mess, right? Pictures are going here and there, contents are going here and there, diagrams are clashed, right? So this will give us a very big headache, right? Tedara, I'll come to that. So what we can do to avoid such things is that we can use a page break at the end of each and every page. That doesn't mean you can't use a page break at the middle of the page, but it will cause you some little problems as well, right? I'll show you what happens. Right now, I'll go to the previous position, right? Another previous position. I'll come to the problematic place. And now what I'm doing is I'm moving my cursor to the starting point of this brown colored background paragraph. So my cursor is at the beginning now over here. And when my cursor is there, I'm applying a page break. So I'm go to the insert tab and go to the page break and press. So my content moves over here. Now, after this, I'm going to get rid of some other content as well. Situation this content is at the top of the next page. So if I delete something from here, this is supposed to move back. So here I'm deleting, but it's not moving back. It is because I have applied a page break where from that point onwards, from that page break onwards, the content will be considered not belongs to the current page, right? So like the second page content will be there in the second page. It won't penetrate into the first page if the first page contents get changed. හැබැයි ඕක අවුල් වෙන එක තැනක් තියෙනවා. එක තැන තමයි if I copy this content And if I grow my content in the first page, now look this carefully, paste in it. What happens? When my content comes right over here, this particular content jump to the next page. It is because I have put some page break at the middle of this page. මේ page එකේ මැද මම තැනක තමයි page break එක තිබ්බේ. So එතනින් එහාට contents එනවා කියන්නේ මේ page එකට උවමනා වෙන විදිහට තව page එකක් හදාගෙන ඉතිරි ටික ඊටත් එහා පැත්තේ page එකකට move කරනවා. Right? Now if I paste further, it won't do any change. Now it changed. Right? ඕකට හේතුව page break එක අපි page එක මැද්දේ දීපු නිසා. So what we have to do is we can apply the page break in this particular manner. Now when the next page content arrives to the current page, I can place the cursor at the beginning of the content of the next page and I can press enter. Right? And at the end of my page, let's assume it comes to the margin. And from there, at the very end, I am applying a page break. Now I can copy things much further. Right, hold on, something went wrong. Ranuja, yes, definitely. Yeah. Now I'm pressing the enter. And just before my page ends, I am putting a page break. So now I can grow my page. Something has wrong, people. Okay, I think let me okay, I press enter and I give the page break. Okay, if I copy some things over here, let me copy less. Yes, it won't. Right, after the page break match when the now if I delete things from here, it won't change. If I grow things inside here, the next page won't affect. Right? So that is why we are using the page breaks. Right? So you can change the content in one particular page without applying the changes, or like without disturbing, or like without interfering the content of the other page. Right? And Ranuja, to have a page break, Puta, it's a very simple thing that we have to do. All you have to do is like move your cursor at the end of the page, right? And actually, yeah, at the end of the page is a much better word, at the end of the page, and you can insert go to the insert tab and press a page break. So it will create you another page, right? So you can type in here, right? And if you got content at the near of the page break, that content will be moved to the next page, and this particular page will not get effect or will not get penetrate by the previous page content due to a deletion. Ranuja, is it clear? Ranuja?
Okay, sir.
Right, great. All right, so that's the story about the cover page, blank page, and the page break. So now we are going to deal with a table. Right now, it's a very fine thing that provided in the Word, the table, right? So we can do many different things using the table, right? And again, for documentation, tables are obvious, right? If we are creating some reports, if we use it to store some temporary data, or if we are arranging some particular detail in a structured manner, we need tables, right? So here we are going to know how to apply or how to insert a table into a Word document. Now, in the Word, there is a simpler way that you can insert a table. To do that, I'm going to get rid of this, right? So you can move to the insert tab and go to the table. There is only one particular command visible inside the table group. Once I click on the table, it will give you this particular small window, a pop-up in one, right? So this pop-up window is provide you a matrix where you can generate a table accordingly, right? So once you move your mouse over this matrix, you can see a preview is built on the page to have the idea what kind of a table is going to create. And with this matrix, we can create like a table with 10 columns and 8 rows, right? Like, which is kind of a big table, which may satisfy the table requirement, like most of the table requirements of the people who are using this, right? So like the maximum is like 10 columns and 8 rows. So you can build something smaller than that, right? According to this spread, right? And in case, if you want to create a particular table which is bigger than this, like which is bigger than 10 columns, right? So then we have this command called insert table, right? So now first I'm going to draw a particular table like this. It is from the matrix. And you may recognize once we create a table, we are given a new 2 tabs regarding that. Once I deselect the table, those 2 tabs are disappeared. Once I place my cursor inside the table, or if I select the table, like literally if I touch the table, these 2 is going to get appear. So those 2 are the design and the layout. So design is there to design the table according to the predefined designs, right? So I can apply any kind of design right over here. And if you really don't like this design, you can have the colors and the as well as the borders colored at your will, right? According to your desire, right? So to do that, you have to refer the shading command right next to the predefined formats. right? So in the shadings, we can apply a particular shading into this particular table, right? So, and when you are applying the shadings, you have to say to which particular position that you are going to add this shading. Like if you want to apply the red color as the header, you have to select these three cells together. Now, how did I do that? If you place your cursor inside the table and if you click and drag to your right, it will select the particular cells. And if you drag it down, again, it helps you to select the range that you want, right? And there are other ways that you can do this selection. Now, if you want to select the entire table, you can move to this button at the top left corner of the table, which has 4 arrows to the each and every side. And once you click on it, the entire table will get selected. But it helps you to select the entire thing, right? And if you want to select a particular column, move your mouse pointer at the top of the column and click. But when you are clicking, be sure your mouse pointer becomes a black downwarding arrow, right? ඒක වෙනස් වෙන්න ඕනේ මේ විදිහට. එහෙම වුණාම තමයි you will be able to select the particular column like one after the other. And also, if you want to select a particular row, you have to go to your very left of the row, right? And click on it, then the entire row will get selected. And also here you can have multiple rows as well, or like the multiple selections as well, right? And if you want to select this particular rectangle, or we call it a cell, this particular cell, like randomly, so what you are going to do is you can choose the cells randomly. Here we can have a one particular cell, right? And I'm going to choose this particular one. So I press Control and then click on the cell that I need. So Control will help me to select the things like here and there, right? එක ළඟ තියෙන එකක් වුණොත් we will be able to select just by like the columns or by the rows, right? But when things are in ad hoc manner, or like the cells are in here and there, so to choose that particular cells, you have to click on a cell one by one, right? So like this, things will be chosen, right? Clear the මේ වැඩේ කරන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා? People, please confirm. Is it clear? Chanuri, the way I select the cells one after the other means like here and there. Right, Chanuri, it is done like this. First you select a one particular cell. How we are going to select a one particular cell? Move your mouse pointer at the edge of the cell. Then your mouse is going to change into a black arrow, which is in a diagonal manner, right? So then you click, so your entire cell is selected. Then move to the place where you need to select the other cell. Let's assume you need this particular, the third cell. So you press CTRL button and then select this. So whenever you are going to click the mouse to select a particular thing, you just press the CTRL to have the help. Right now, if I need to select this particular cell, I press CTRL, then I click my mouse. Right, so that is how you are going to select the things here and there. Got it, Chanuri? Brilliant. Okay, so then again, when we select the table, this pen color right over here and the border style will allow you to modify the borders of the table that you have drawn. Now, if I select a particular border pattern, I'm going to select this as the border pattern. So once I select it, my mouse pointer changed into this kind of a mess, right? Or like not a mess actually, this kind of a pattern, right? So now what you are going to do is be careful when you are doing this. Click on the border that you want to change your borders, right? So let's say you need this particular cell to be unique. So yes, you can make it as like that. And if you want to make everything on this particular panel, you can click on each and every cell, right? And if you want to have this border style in the entire table, there is a easy way of doing this. You select, first of all, you have to like off the border painter, because border paint is selected. That is why my mouse pointer is like this. So I go to the border painter and close it. And then you select the entire table and you choose all borders. So those borders will come corresponding to this particular pattern, right? So that is how the designing part of the table is done. And in case, if you want to increase the number of the columns in a table, you can use this plus sign, which you can find in between, or like not in between actually, on the margin of a particular table, right? Of a particular column, I'm sorry, the margin, right? So if I want to add something in between these two, so yeah. So like, it's like this. Now, to show what happens clearly, I'm going to take ABC, X, Y, Z, P, Q, R, right? And I increase the size of this. Yeah, now this is what is going to happen. I'm going to add a column in between first and the second. Now see how it happens. Now, if I select this very first column, and if it is going to be like if it is going to help to provide a particular new column, I select this particular column and right click on it, and then I'll go to insert, then I choose insert columns on your what, this time it's on your left, right? So if I press it, so a left column will be there, right? And if I give right, you know it's going to come in between A, B, C and X, Y, Z. But what I need you to show is what happens when I press this plus mark. Now plus mark is there at the top of the table. So I'm pressing the plus mark. There you go. So once you hit the plus mark, or like once you when you are there to add a particular column, remember with the plus mark, you will be able to add it at your left side, not your right side. Right? වම් අත පැත්තට තමයි column එක add කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. දකුණු අත පැත්තට නෙවෙයි. So same happens when we are adding a row. So row can be added at the top of the plus sign, not at the bottom of the plus sign. මම මෙතන plus එක එබුවොත් I'll fill out some word over here. Right? Now if I press plus over here, it will create a row in between ABC and CAT. Right? So that is how you are going to insert a particular column or a row into a particular table. Right? And regarding the table, now if we want to delete a particular column, if we select this and press delete button, if you press delete button, it will only delete the content, not the column. Right? So what we are going to do is to delete a particular column. We are going to right click on that column and we are going to delete option at the quick access toolbar, or like this pop-up bar, right? So here it has delete and I'm saying delete column. So entire column will get deleted. So that is why XY said come closer to the ABC. Right? And again, let me, I have, hold on people. Yeah. So if I need to get rid of this cat dog row, so same can be done. Right? So I'll select the entire row and I right click on it, go to the delete, and then I'm saying delete rows. So the row which contains the cat and the dog is disappear now. Right? And there is a very interesting thing is happening when you are deleting a cell, a particular cell. Right? Cell එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ මේ පුංචි කොටුවකට. Now when you are deleting that particular cell, there will be a special scenario, right? So how it's going on is like this. Now think that I need to delete this particular cell. මෙන්න මෙයාව මට delete කරන්න ඕන. Right? I'm going to put some content over here as well. So some random letters. And don't put enter when you are inside a table. It will allow you to, or lead you to somewhere else, right? So like or like at the very bottom of your content, like this. To jump from one cell to another, you can use the tab key, tab, the tab key, right? And as well as you can use cursor, the arrow keys, where you got it will be easier for you to manage with those. Right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm having GRT over here. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this empty cell. So what I'm doing is I'm right click and going to the delete, and I'm choosing delete cells. Now here I'm getting a small window, right? What that window says. and it says deleting cells, shift cell up, shift cell left, shift cell up, delete entire row, delete entire column. So that means you can use a particular cell to delete itself as well as the entire row or a column. So what are we going to do is just clarifying what's the particular address is, or like what's the particular way that we are going to address this problem is, right? So here I'm choosing, when I'm deleting this, I'm going to choose shift cells left, right? So I take shift cells left and I'm pressing OK, right? Before I press OK, I'll go to the exit the magnifier. Yeah. Now there is an empty block in between ABC and XYZ. So I'm saying shift cell left. Cells because once you delete a particular thing, it will create a vacuum like in between the table. So Microsoft Word table is there to get filled from its left top corner. One calorie you doing the fill when හුරු කරලා තියෙන table එකට. So මේ highlight කරලා තියෙන cell එක මැකුවම what will happen is the XYZ PQR containing cells will be shifted into its left. You will see that now. So I'm saying okay, that is what happens. And there is a nice thing going on now. And what happens to the very last cell? Now it is being shifted, so that particular place has no value, right? But this doesn't happen when I'm deleting it with the relate, like when I'm deleting the things with relate to the columns, right? So let's experience that as well. So I'm going to delete ASD, which is this, and I'm delete, and I'm saying delete cells. So here I'm going to choose shift cells up. Now we know when we are shifting cells to the left, there can be a slight different to the table structure, right? So when I choose shift cells up and press OK, see what happens. GRT is at the bottom of the ASD. And when I say OK, what happens? The GRT letters are moving to the position where we got delete a particular cell. ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ මේක හරියට හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ අර වම් අත පැත්තේ උඩ කෙළවරට එකතු වෙන ටේබල් එකක් වගේ කියලා. Right? If you delete a particular cell, the filling will happen. The filling will take place. Right. People, is it clear? The way we are going to delete a column and a row and a cell. Please confirm. Right. Brilliant. Okay. Right. So next is, I'm going to take you to the layout tab. In the layout, we are given the facility to delete a table right over here, right? As well as this inserting and inserting the columns and the rows over here, right? And අපි මෙතන plus එකෙන් කරගත්තේ it's the same thing. Right, so same thing can be done by these 4 buttons as well. I'm not going to talk about it again. And like you saw the way that we can change the border style at the designing tab, and here you got a way to draw the borders, right? That means literally you can draw the table, right? So to do that, you can choose this draw table. Right, so this draw table, once I click on it, my mouse point is changed into a pencil. Now, with the style that I use in the design, my design style. So using that style, it will allow me to draw the borders. See? And be very careful when you are drawing these things, right? Because it happens in a way අපි ඒක බොහොම delicately handle කරගන්න ඕනේ, otherwise it will be a little bit harder for us to do, right? You can click and drag to show the drawing, or you can just click on a particular border. Now since we don't have any borders, I can draw the table like this. And now drawing a table, it is actually when it is really essential. If it is not really essential, drawing a table will consume you some time, right? So don't go for drawing the entire table. Daddy, the sun has gone down. Who has gone down? The sun. Oh my God, the sun has gone down. Yes. Right, okay. Go ahead and tell it to me. I have that. That what? What? Suharata is doing a class. Please. Look, it's walking. Please go to the Ammi. Monica, please. Right. Sorry for that. And as you can draw the things, you can erase the borders as well, right? You can take the eraser, and the only thing that you need to do is click on the borders that you need to erase. And remember, erasing means disappearing. Disappearing means like it's not being hidden, it is deleted, right? So I can delete this, this particular edges as I want, right? So they won't be there anymore. Right, so sometimes they indicate it by dotted lines, and I can get rid of the dotted lines as well. Right, so it is taken away. And please be please have patience with my little one, people. She will go away soon, right? And that is the way you are going to delete the borders of a table, right? And to talk about the other things, I want to talk about this alignment. I'm going to create a new table, right? I'm going to get rid of this. And again, people, when you are deleting a table, like just by selecting the table and pressing the delete key, won't delete you the table. It will just delete the content inside it, right? And if you want to get rid of the table, you just select the table, and once you select it, you are given a shortcut menu over here. There you got the delete button, and using that, at the very end it says delete table. Or else you can come to the layout tab and go here, and you can use delete table as well. Same thing happens. Once you click on it, the table will be deleted, right? And so be very careful. And ගොඩක් අය ඕක හිර කරගන්නවා. If when they want to delete a table, they just select the table and delete. So only the value is deleting, right? So they will go crazy when a table is not being deleted, right? So that is the way you are going to delete a table, right? And I'm going to insert a table very quickly, right? Yeah, this kind of a one. And when you are inserting a table, you can find these two icons. Like one has a square, and inside it there is a arrows, to all the sides, and there is a small square at the right bottom corner, right? So once you move your cursor to that particular square and click and drag it, you can change the size of the entire table, right, as you want. And if you want to move the table, you can use the other button, which is at the top left corner. Click it, and yeah, I try to move it here, right? Sometimes the table behaves as it wants, right? So when the table moves here and there, sometimes when the content is here, it won't move as you want, right? අපිට ඕනම විදිහට move නොවෙන්න පුළුවන් content එක තියෙනකොට, right? On such situation, there is a trick that we can do, is like we can take a component called text box and we can put this particular table inside that text box, and then we can move it in a very free manner, right? But in an empty space, we can handle our table, right? And what I need you to show is, I'll make this a little bit bigger, and if I type some contents, right? So I'll quickly type A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I'm sorry, G, H, and I. Yeah. Yeah. How did I got a new row suddenly? People, it's a tab key that I use to move from cell to cell. Once it reached to the very end of the table, now my cursor is at the very end of the table. And if I press the tab again, it will give me a new line. See? Likewise, I can take new lines. So for the moment, I'm not going to take it. Right. Now, what I need you to show you is the positioning inside a cell. Right. Now, this goes the very same way when you are going to do the Excel practical lesson as well. Right. So inside a cell, there are 9 positions that we can move. So those 9 positions are shown by these icons. Right. So if you look it closely, these are the, I'm sorry, these are the levels, or these are the positions that it can move, right? And we got to know there are 3 horizontal positions of the alignments, like the left, center, and the right. And here it is mixed that horizontal alignment with the vertical alignment, which is the top, middle, and the bottom. So it creates 9 positions, right? Now, if I place my cursor right at the first cell, and if I change it to this, see, it moves to the center, but still at the top margin. And if I click this, it moves to the right. And if I press this, comes to the center, and in the very middle, and the left of the center, and the bottom, center bottom, and center right. So likewise, we can position our data in a cell by using these buttons. Just a second, people. Right, sorry for that, people. So likewise, you can change the positions inside a particular cell, right? And we can create the content, or like we can turn the content inside a cell in a particular directions, right? So that is defined by the text direction, right? So if I put ABC, the word right over here, if I make it a little bit bigger, now I'm going to turn my content inside this particular cell using the text direction. If I click it once, it will move. Like so, my letters are onto this particular side, which is from top to bottom. If I press it again, it is from bottom to top. And if I press it again, it's on the normal way, right? It's never going to go like upside down. Upside down, so the other three ways are there, right? So that is the way you are going to turn your content inside a particular cell. And the next one is something important that I'm telling you. This illustrates the merging of a particular cells. Now, merging means like taken up together, right? So if I want to merge the first cell and the second cell, I can use the facility called merge cells. So I click on this. So the content ABC and the letter B will be there. But now it's a one big cell. If I want to merge these two cells, I select this and I go to the merge cells and I press merge. So the content will be there, but it will become a one big cell inside it. That doesn't mean that you can only merge two cells together, right? You can merge any number of cells which are adjacent to each other. Ekalanganang cells wala cells tika tiyenne, so you can merge, no worries, right? So I'll select these four and I'll merge cells. So things will be like this, right? So this is what we call merging cells. And again, as we can join the cells, we can split them away, right? But splitting will happen into some systematic manner, right? Like why I'm telling you in a systematic manner. Now, if I ask to split this big cell, right? So I select this particular cell. Actually, I don't need to select the content. I only need to place my cursor inside it. So then I go and press split cells. So it will give me this little window, which is saying, or like which is asking how I need to split this cell. So it is recognized, like it is proposing me number of columns and number of rows that I can do, right? So for the moment, I use 2 columns and 1 row. That means the particular cell, this particular cell will be divided into 2 columns, but no rows will be created, namely because it says 2 columns and 1 row. 1 row can exist in row, right? So let's see how it happens. I'm sorry. Right, so if I press OK, so this big cell is going to be split. That is the way it's going to split, right? And if I go in, if I split this further, right? I punchi cell ekak tawa split karno, right? So I go to the split cells, and it says 2 columns. I'm going for 3 columns. I can go for 3 columns. I'm going for 2 rows, right? So 2 columns, 2 rows, right? So once I say okay, yeah, it will be divided like this. And now if I try to split this into 3 rows, the metana rows dekakata kadunane. මෙයාව rows 3කට divide කරන්න ගියොත් there will be a problem, right? So it's like this: split cells. I'm increasing the number of rows into 3, and it is not allowing me to increase into 3. 3 කියලා දාන්න දෙන්නේ මම 3 type කරොත් මෙතන it will give us an error. See, the number must be between 1 and 2. That is why I told you splitting is a little bit tricky, because splitting is happening without harming the table structure. Now, if this particular cell divided into 3 parts, it is going to be a problem. Neither අපි table එකක් හදන්නේ to store some data in a systematic manner. But if I divide this into 3 things, that system will collapse, right? Then according to the table structure, this particular big cell can also be divided into 2, right? So that is why it is allowing us to have maximum into 2 rows, right? But column wise, you can increase the number of columns. It doesn't matter, right? ඒ කියන්නේ මේ සිරස් අතට අපිට බෙදා ගන්න පුළුවන් ඕන තරම්, right? It troubles us when we are trying to divide the rows, right? So I'll divide this into 4 columns and 2 rows, right? So it will have this type of table inside it. Actually, the cell is being divided like that. Got it, people? Terunada? Please confirm. Brilliant. Okay. So the next one I'm going to tell you is about this particular auto fit button. Now, this is actually defines how the content inside a cell is going to behave, right? Or like actually not the content, how the width of a particular column is going to behave according to the content. අපි content එක එකේ type කරනකොට ඒකට අනුව cell එක කොහොමද behave වෙන්නේ කියලායි ඒගොල්ලෝ define කරන්නේ, right? So to do that, I'm going to take a new table. I'm going to get rid of this. So delete table. I'll insert a table which has 4 rows and 3 columns, right? Yes, Rusira, definitely. What Rusira is asking, even though we can't split it into like splitting, even though splitting is giving us some limitations, instead of that we can draw it as we want. නේද කියලා, right? Yes, අපිට කැමති විදිහට අඳින්න පුළුවන්, no problem, right? It is going to be a draw, right? But splitting have some constraints, right? Okay, so now the content inside this. Now I'm going to make my font size a little bit bigger. So if I type the content right over here, now still it is not harming. Now what happens? See what is happening. My column width is growing. Right? And does it has a limit? It has a limit. This is the limit. So it fit to the content up to some extent, then it continues to the next line. Right? එතකොට ඉඩ තියෙන නිසා එයා expand කරගෙන යනවා. Now I'm trying to put something into the second column, like number of bees. So what happens? It penetrates the size, or like it penetrates the area of the first column. And if I'm trying to put something in the third, it penetrates both the second as well as the first. but you can recognize here the size of the table, the total width of the table is not going to change. The total width is constant, right? So that is what happens when we have auto fit to content, right? So it will fit into the content automatically by keeping the table width as a constant, the total table width as a constant, right? And the next one, auto fit to window. Now what happens there? If I say auto fit to window, like nothing much different is happening, right? So it goes the same way, but if I try to reduce the size of my table, it is not allowing me to resize it. Now, if I select this and auto fit to content, if I choose that, oh, something wrong. It is allowing me to adjust. Right? It is allowing me to adjust. But when I auto fit to window, it does not. Let me check whether it is giving me. No, it does not. See? Because this mod says, whatever it happens, keep the table fit to window. So that means it will take the width of the word page, the margins in this case, right? But auto fit to content will allow you to change the contents, right? Okay, and now the third one, fix column width. Now see what happens, right? I'm deleting these things. See, nothing changes. And I'm deleting these as well. Nothing is changing. Column width, it is constant. I'm changing these. Nothing changes, only the height. Column width is not. And if I try to, now I'll empty these things and I'll try to type something in here. See, can you see? This doesn't happen previously. කලින් මොකද උනේ? ඉඩ තිබ්බනම් මේ දෙන්නව මේ කෙලවරටම තල්ලු කරලා නේද? The content inside this column will grow. But this time it doesn't. If I fix it like this, මම කිව්වොත් හරි. මේක තමයි ඔයාගේ පළල. So it is fixed. Right? It's not going to do any changes. Right. Got that, people? The difference in between auto fit to content, auto fit to window, and auto fit to column width. So according to our purpose, we can make our table into this particular manner. Is that clear, people? Okay, brilliant. Right. So those are the things that we have to do with the table, right? And so we are done with the insert tabs, page group, and the table group. So the next one is the picture. I'll quickly show you how to take a picture, and I'll go through the components that we have in the picture by next week, right? So I can put a picture by pressing this. So it will ask me to choose from where I am going to take a picture. So I can choose it from the device, or I can choose it from online. That online picture choosing, maybe it is not there in the other versions as well. In the other versions. right? But picking a picture from the device, it is always be there. So if I choose this device, it will open and ask me to pick a picture. So I'll go to my pics folder. I got a nice cat, so I'm taking it. And this nice cat placed inside the table. Since I was placing my cursor inside the table, let me get rid of the table first. We don't need the disturbance of the table when we are dealing with the image. Since we are learning it, right? We should know where to put with or without a table, right? So this device, I am choosing this pic. How did I choose that? Insert pictures, this device. So I find my picture from the file explorer, right, by visiting to the specific folder, and I can click on the picture, or I can select many number of pictures and press insert button. So all the pictures will be there. If I want to insert a specific picture, I can select this picture and click on insert, or otherwise I can double click on this picture, so it will automatically taken into the word or the working area of the word, right? So when I'm receiving this, you can see there is a new tab called format is open. Now while my picture is selected, this will be there always. If I click it on somewhere, that particular tab is gone. Once I click on the picture, format tab is visible. So format tab will allow the picture to get changed according to its properties, right? So you can remove the background if you want. I'll tell you how to do that. Right? So when you click on removal background, it will show you it will ask you to mark what are the places that you need to keep and what are the places that you need to get rid of, right? So mark area to keep, I can click on this. Then maybe so I can mark it, keep it like that. So it is not a very high-end graphic tool, but we can do some nice things from this, right? Select add right? Now cat is taken. So then I can say keep changes. So only cat is here now. Right, and again, when you are taking a picture onto the Word document, it don't allow you to move it at your will. Make a move. I'm trying to move this. It is not allowing me to. It is because of this layout option. So I'll tell you what is a layout option is. Now for the moment, I'll choose the layout option as in front of text. There are many different layout options. So I'll choose in front of text. And now I'm given the chance to move my cat as I want. All right, so by next week, we are going to learn about how we are going to change these parameters and how to deal with the pictures. And there are shapes as well. And there are smart arts, right? And some charts, right? So we are going to talk about those as well, right? Okay, people. So I'm going to end the session from this point for today, right? Thank you very much for being here. Stay safe. And if you got any questions, you can ask, right? I'll be here. Otherwise, we all can have a very good night, right? So thank you very much. Have a very good night, people. I'll see you on next Friday for the same time, right? It's going to be 5:45, people. Keep that in mind. 5:45, I'm sending the session, right? So if in case if it is going to change, I'll inform you to the WhatsApp group. Otherwise, I'll start it at 5:45, right? Okay. So I'll see you next week for the same time, people. Thank you very much. Have a good night. Right. Good night, everyone. Good night.